Hello folks, Jay Barino here, welcome back, continuing StarCraft Brood War Alternate. We're heading into the second campaign now, which is Conclave, so the Zerg have been swapped with the Protoss. Among the Ashes, the Protoss first mission. The grand fleets of the Protoss Empire have crushed the swarm on 9 of the 13 central Zerg worlds. Shortly after the beginning of the assault on the planet Char, Terran fleets have ceased pursuing Protoss forces and abandoned the Zerg space. Meanwhile, Imperial Army is continuing to fight with Terran ground contingents on Char. Zerg, Central World Char. Antaro Adun, Executor, embrace the glory that is the birthright of our race. Know that I am Judicator Eldaris, leader of the Conclave, and that you have been privileged to serve the Judicator caste. If you succeed in your missions, you shall be amongst the greatest of our race's heroes. You might even benefit from their wisdom and experience. However, your task is unique. While they carry forth the Judicator's will to the honorable fleets, you have but one charge entrusted to your care. For we have found a being that may become the greatest of our allies. Even now it resides within a protective stasis crystal, awaiting its awakening into the Conclave. You must watch over the crystal and ensure that no harm comes to the being within it. Go now and serve the Conclave honorably. Warp in a gateway, warp in a cybercore. Protect the stasis crystal. There it is. It's the Uraj, the Callus, or one of those two. I am Tassadar, prestigious executor of the Templar and humble servant to the Conclave. I have been tasked with overseeing your mission. Currently, Protoss forces are locked in battle with the Terrans across the entirety of the planet. After we finish our mission, I will be able to assist you further. So it's us versus Zerg, I think, primarily. So lots of Zealots should do us well, unless they're a couple Mutalists, which there probably are. Antaro Adun, I am Phoenix. I too am an executor of the Conclave. I have located a small hive cluster that could threaten the crystal and our nexus point. You must destroy them. So Phoenix is Zaz in this situation? Pretty sure. Tassadar's Dagoth. Destroy the Zerg base. Okay. Pretty standard. It's weird to just change my thought of what the Protoss even are, you know? At this point, because they're just marauding, semi-mindless. I guess that's not the same though. It's just a whole different idea of what they even are, right? They're it's not like they're like mindless Zerg. They're just, I guess, imperialistic Protoss that are looking to just conquer everything. I suppose. I don't know. Maybe we'll understand more because like the Zerg swarms, they were still controlled by the Overmind, but at the same time, the difference was that they were like colonizing worlds and they weren't just looking to assimilate everything. So it's just sort of each race's motivations are different, and they're meant to match more with what their comparable races from the vanilla game, which is interesting. Certainly interesting. We just want to get some goons. Let's get us some goons, and I also want to get. I think it'll be good to grab +1 attack with Protoss. Those attack upgrades are just so valuable. I mean, all their upgrades are valuable, but the attack upgrades, especially early, are extremely powerful. So let's toss down a forge, and then we can get a couple cannons to protect our flank as we decide to go and wipe out these foolish Terrans. They are Zerg in this map. It's weird. It's still weird to get used to. It's exciting to see a lot of the changes. The end of the last campaign was wild. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go back and watch the first campaign, because it kind of sets the stage here for what to expect. And again, a lot of it is just your opponent behaves so different than the original campaign because they are scripted to do vastly different things in different ways. So it's pretty awesome. I'm just going to go ahead and wait for ground weapons. There we go, because that takes a while to finish, so we might as well get it going here. When I was younger, I had a friend who tried to insist that probes harvested faster of all 3 of the races. Is this true? I don't think that's real. I think that's the same for all of them, but I feel like someone is definitely going to come onto my comments section and insist that it's true now. So y'all gotta let me know. Hey, get out of there! But now I must know because I don't actually know. Okay, we shouldn't need too many cannons to protect us. All that's important is that we've got our +1 coming out. We'll spread out a little bit. I was going to save up for that cyber core because I need some goons. But these first missions, well, really, you know, the further into the game we get, the early missions are way less nothing. Like here, it's just build a cyber core, you know, and then just like you get like 12 to 20 units and you go and win. It may be a little more challenging, but not to the point where we're frantically scrambling around like we were at the end of the Terran campaign with the Spore cannon that was like shooting us down, like shooting all of our overlords down and stuff. That was wild and pretty cool. All right, let's grab a pylon over here. I notice in general a lot of the resource formations are either slightly more plentiful and definitely way less spread out. So like in New Gettysburg or Char Aleph, whatever it was, your guys are, rather than being a billion miles away, it was now actually quite close. It's kind of a big difference compared to the original. That was kind of a staple of the original in a way, which was almost irritating, but definitely more natural feeling resource nodes, I suppose. So we'll just, again, we'll smash out a bunch of zealots. I'll get +1 armor, and we'll go. I don't think I need many more probes. Just more pylons, though. We got another one coming up there. No access to goon range, so I suppose what I should do is probably throw down a couple cannons up here, because we're going to attack to the right. At least that's what I usually do in the base game. The layout is the same. We're in the bottom left, the Terran are in the upper, well, the Zerg are in the upper right, and they've got like a few buildings on the high ground up there, so we'll see. There is an expansion you can typically take that's like over in this area, but this map is so small, I'm probably just going to say, nah, whatever. This is why I'm making a cannon. Get him, Dragoon. Really wants to kill that cannon, even though... Almost. Almost. There you go. Okay, get on in there. Don't let him through. Not having access to a lot of our basic upgrades, though, as Protoss does hurt. Like, Dragoon range and Zealot legs are all really, really good upgrades, so not having those does hurt. Okay, so 3 cannons should do us okay, and then I'm just going to keep making a few extra Dragoons, because it seems like there are Mutalisks on this map. I think there was like 1 or 2 wraiths on the original. Boom! Start that armor. And it's funny because at the end of the last one, I even said, I'm like, oh, one of my weaknesses in this game is I tend to be way too conservative at the beginning in the sense, like, not economically. I do try to overreach and take expansions quickly. But what I don't do is make a small force and try to raid an outlying enemy base early, because typically that takes so much pressure off of you that it's probably worth trying. But it's also it's very high risk and high reward, and you never know if you're going to have too few units, or then you wait too long, you have too many units, and then you run yourself dry economically because you waited too long. So I suspect that that's going to come into play and be way more important the further into this campaign we get. And I think the issue is just simply there's no way to know as a player unless you just take that risk and then see how it goes. So I may try to be a little more aggressive at the beginning. It certainly worked out at the end of the last campaign. Like the big push, whatever it was called, I don't know, whatever it was where we had to take out the Zerg on the big platform, though. That one I could have been way more aggressive early, and I wasn't. That mission took much longer than I think it needed to. But at the same time, there was, you had to destroy literally everything, so that may just naturally end up taking longer. Hotkey these gateways, and yeah, just get some goons. See, like right now, part of me is thinking, this is probably enough stuff, right? This is probably enough. But if it's not, then it almost means that it's just going to take even longer. So you can either risk moving out at 7 minutes, If you lose, the mission will then take 14 minutes. Alternatively, you could wait till 10 minutes and definitely win. I tend to be that 10-minute guy, but the harder the map, the more likely you're kind of forced into taking an early risk. But you don't know how you should necessarily approach it. Where on the map you should be going to do that, where on the map to take an expansion. It's different based on, the author of the map and just a bunch of different circumstances. Now, we do have some knowledge of these maps simply because it's StarCraft 1, But I suspect that as we move into the Brood War maps especially, these are going to diverge way, way, way more. We'll see. That's overboard. We don't need that many. Let's just wait for these Dragoons, and I'll queue up some extra Zealots, and then we'll go. That's the plan. It's very easy for your Zealots to run in and get smoked. The issue is your Dragoons tend to stay back and attack buildings that aren't even hostile. So you want to micro your Dragoons a little further in to support your Zealots. That's kind of the early, beefy gateway unit composition. That's kind of what you got to do. So let's, like I said, just queue up some extra Zealots. Let's get in there. Might not be enough Zealots. We'll see. Okay, and then again, just make sure you move in with the Dragoons to ensure that you're supporting your Zealots. Okay, here comes some other units down to support the fact that we're attacking their other buildings. Yeah, let these Dragoons... I mean, we do have to kill this hatchery one way or another, so you guys just move up, help kill the Hydralisks. Leave a couple units back here. Okay, that probably cleared out all of their units. Cool, and they're not attacking the stasis crystal thingamabobber or anything like that, so... Boom, shield, so expensive. Yes, kill the egg before it hatches. How often do you have an opportunity to do that? There we go. So now we're going to continue moving, pushing up into this base. Boom, boom, boom. We've killed most of the units that are causing us problems. Okay, so there was a defensive force that reacted, but there's also some pre-play stuff that looks like it didn't necessarily react to us. So see, like this guy, you know what? Take that on the chin. Perfect. Get rid of 2 of them for 1 Zealot. That was worth it. Meanwhile, like these Dragoons that kind of sit in the back, we want to make sure that we stay on top of our Zealots so that they can support each other. Big difference there. Okay, hit these Mutalisks, and we have 1. I would say, again, we may have overbuilt a little bit. And I think that's just part of being good at the game. And StarCraft is one of those types of games that has like a near infinite skill ceiling. So I'll be able to beat these missions, but in some cases they'll take longer than they need to. But that's okay. I don't know. I still don't really have a good sense of how I play compared to many other players. And StarCraft is one of the types of games where people who are very good at the game tend to assume that there's no way anyone else could be like worse at the game. I don't know how else to explain it, but because it has that high skill floor and ceiling, there's sort of an attitude of like you have to be really good to play this game, which is not necessarily true. But you can get much, much, much better and make the game, both single player and multiplayer for that matter, infinitely easier for yourself. All right, up the ramp. Last few buildings. See, it's the same. You get a spire up here instead of a starport. I like the way that the overlords clump up. Poor Overseer Zerg. Is Brown Grendel? I don't remember which broods are which. Okay. I guess let's check the score screen. I should be showing that. There's our beautiful, brave Zealot overlooking whatever planet that is. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye now.